Welcome to the long anticipated SuperCon episode of our podcast, where we don't just talk about the San Diego Comic Con, aka the only one that matters, but we also talk about QuakeCon. So, obviously, a lot of stuff happens at Comic Con, but most of that stuff was just totally blown out of the water by Marvel because Marvel pretty much owns the universe at this point. But couple highlights of things that also happened. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Okay, just nothing that I really care about. The only thing I really care about is that they announced that the entire Godzilla Showa series, which is the original series, so that's from the 50s to the 70s, it has all been bought by Criterion, and for the first time ever, it's going to be sold on one box set, and it's all going to be in high definition restored Blu-ray. So that is big news for any Big G fan. They've also announced that they're going to be doing more animated Godzilla movies. And if you've seen my anime trilogy review, you know I wasn't a huge fan of those, but I'm always willing to see them try again because that really does open up a lot of windows. But the thing that you want to hear about today is not Godzilla, it's Marvel. And they announced the Phase 4 slate of movies, which part of me thinks this is only going to be half of a phase because it's only 2 years, I think. And most of the phases have been more than that. But we're going to go through all the movies and discuss what we think. So, you've looked through the list, haven't you, Connor?
I saw it at one point, but the only thing I remember was like Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, and then
those are not on the list except for the new Thor.
They aren't?
No.
Okay.
I will go through them. Okay, so these are the movies. They're going to do a lot of TV shows too, which we'll talk about. But the first movie that's going to come out is Black Widow in 2020.
Yeah, I remember that being on there.
So it's a prequel. I think it takes place after Civil War. There's already been some leaked photos from the sets, and it looks like she's fighting the villain, the Taskmaster, which, if you don't know who that is, he's kind of a dude who wears a skull mask and he has like a gray robe and a sword and a shield, and his superpower is that he can like learn anything really fast or something like that. I think he's mainly a Deadpool villain, so I'm kind of surprised that they're using him for this, but hopefully that'll be interesting. It stars obviously Scarlett Johansson and then David Harbour from Stranger Things
as
a character named Alexi. I don't know what that means, but Alexi is the name of one of the characters in Stranger Things as well, so it's kind of a weird little thing. So up next is the Eternals. I don't really know anything about the Eternals. It stars a bunch of actors I've never heard of, plus that one girl who played as Tomb Raider. What's her name?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie's going to be in it. Pretty much they're just a bunch of cosmic space dudes. They're kind of like gods. I think Hercules is part of the team. Be interesting to see what they do with him. So then in 2021, we get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So Shang-Chi, he's kind of like Iron Fist, where he's just a dude that does, karate and stuff. But the big thing that's crazy about this is that it's the Legend of the Ten Rings, and that the main villain is going to be the Mandarin, but not the fake Mandarin from Iron Man 3. Because in Iron Man 1, they set up the actual Mandarin, and there's like little hints toward him in a couple of the other movies, so we're finally going to get to have the real Mandarin.
I thought there was a real Mandarin in Iron Man 3. The one,
No.
crap guy. No, the guy that made Extremis.
Yeah, he says he's the Mandarin, but he's not the Mandarin from like the comics.
Okay.
So I guess there's going to be 3 Mandarins in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
When you make enough money, like Marvel does, you can just do whatever you want, and people don't get upset.
You buy your own retcons.
Yep.
And we pay for them.
So, in May of 2021 comes Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. You have to say it like that. This one, first off, I'm surprised this is coming out in May, because Marvel usually saves like their more heavy hitters for May. That's when you usually get your Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy or Iron Man movies. But they're using Doctor Strange, which is, I think that's surprising. But even more surprising than that is that it's supposed to be a horror movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work. It's also going to have, what's her name in it? Scarlet Witch. The Olsen twin girls. She's going to be one of the characters in it. And then last, we have, for November in 2021. Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to be directed by Taika Waititi. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Natalie Portman, who will be supposedly coming back as female Thor. So obviously a lot of people are freaking out about that because anytime a female character, that is related to the name character, people think that it means that they're going to replace the original with her, just like with James Bond. There's a good callback to our last podcast. I personally think that is not what's going to happen, just because the movie that comes before that is called The Multiverse of Madness. And with that, I think we're going to see an alternate dimension version of Thor show up. And Thor's going to be like, what is this? Why is there... My girlfriend is Thor. Thus the Love and Thunder. Actually, that'd be really weird. Think about it. Like, if you went to an alternate dimension and your girlfriend was you, how would that even work?
But I thought his girlfriend was, what's her name? Like, then it wouldn't be the same. Whereas, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. So those are all the movies. Luckily, Disney Plus is coming out with a bunch of TV shows, which will either be really good or I won't watch them, one of the two. The first one in 2020 comes Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Obviously, it stars Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier and Anthony Mackie as Falcon, and they're going to be working together, doing their buddy stuff.
I'm so glad you knew that actor of Falcon's name, because I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah. It's also going to star Daniel Bruhl as Zemo, who was the villain in Civil War, so he's going to be coming back. I think that also the one blonde agent who Captain America kissed in Civil War, I think she's going to be one of the characters in it too. Then, the next TV show that's going to happen in 2021, this one here takes the cake for being probably the most least interesting one out of all of them. It's called WandaVision. It's not One Division, it's WandaVision, because it's about Scarlet Witch and Vision. Now, first off, that is a horrible name. Okay? Stupid name. Bad. I guess the reason why it's not called Scarlet Witch is because maybe they don't have the rights to that name. Maybe Fox has it, so they're just calling it Wanda. But also, if you've seen Infinity War, you know that Vision dies. Well, apparently they just build a new one. So all of that emotional buildup was for nothing. But this sounds really boring, I'm going to be honest. Because this is a TV show, they're not going to be having Vision with the makeup for most of the time. And who knows, maybe this could surprise me. But that being said, those are like the two least interesting Avengers. So I'm not interested.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Vision as a character, but I wouldn't want to watch a show just based around
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that this isn't watching a movie. This isn't going to be like 2 hours. This is going to be a TV show. It's going to be probably 10 hours long.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's like if he's the main focus, it's like that's
boring.
I'd rather watch like another character, because at least with like the Avengers movies, they have enough different people to make it interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, who knows, maybe someone will make a cameo or what. We'll just have to wait and see. Then later in 2021, we get Loki, the TV show. Now, some of you are saying, hang on, Loki died in Infinity War. Well, this one takes place in an alternate dimension where Loki did not die. So, in case you haven't figured it out, death is pretty much meaningless in the Marvel movies. No one is really gone. I think that's from the new Star Wars movie, but it can be applied to any of Disney's properties, apparently. But it's going to be about Loki, and he's going to be traveling dimensions. It's going to be Doctor Who, but with Loki, and that sounds really stupid. So,
wait a minute, is what's his name coming back as Loki?
Yeah, it's going to be
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston back as Loki.
Awesome.
Hopefully he doesn't wear a wig, because in some of the movies he has actual long hair, and some of them it's a wig, and it's very obvious when it's a wig. So the most interesting one out of these ones so far is Marvel's What If. And that comes out in 2021 as well. And it's going to be an animated series. And if you're not familiar with what the Marvel What If comic series was, it's pretty much just a bunch of what if stories. Like, what if someone else, like, what if Hulk became the next Venom or something like that? And if you look on the logo, one of the images it has is Marvel Zombies. So we're gonna get to finally see a Marvel Zombies movie. The cast they have for this show is like really big. They have almost not everyone, but they have a lot of the actual actors from the MCU coming back, which is really cool. A lot of these actors are going to be reprising roles of characters that have died off, so we're going to get to see Thanos come back. We're going to get to see Killmonger come back. We're going to get to see Yondu come back. But I think it's going to be kind of weird because I know that only half the cast are going to be the original actors, and it's going to be this little like awkward where you hear them talking and you're like, yeah, that's definitely Peggy, but that's clearly not Chris Evans. So either way, it'll be fun. Hopefully the animation isn't ugly 3D animation. But that's probably the most exciting out of all the TV shows.
Yeah.
And then the last one is going to be Hawkeye, which comes out in 2021 as well. And it's about Hawkeye. He's trying to teach, I think it's his daughter, to be the next Hawkeye. First off, I'm surprised by this because Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye, has said a lot that he doesn't want to have his own solo stuff. But I guess he's going to have his own solo TV show where he's kind of teaching his daughter how to be the Avenger that uses a bow. I'm not sure how much these TV shows will tie into the movies. I mean, obviously they said that they're going to, but I imagine it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's going to be like the Netflix stuff that like started out looking like it was going to tie into the movies and then
didn't at all.
Yeah, and then didn't at all. And I get that Kevin Feige's in charge of these ones, so like if they are going to tie into it, it's going to be a lot more. But like Marvel hasn't paid like any attention to like any of the TV shows, with like the exception of like one scene in Avengers Endgame. But I'm not sure how it's going to be. Also, this is some minor spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Hawkeye becomes like a really bad dude in those movies. In the last movie, like he kills like 100 people. So like the idea of him like trying to raise his daughter is going to be kind of weird for me because not only does he have a big tattoo on his arm and a terrible haircut, but he murdered like the entire Mexican drug cartel. Like you can't do that and be okay afterwards. So that is all of the Marvel news. Out of all those we listed, which one are you probably most excited for?
Movies and TV shows?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. So out of the movies, I definitely want to say the Thor one.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Just as long as it doesn't turn out weird.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to be a little weird, but not too much.
Yeah, as far as the TV shows go, I'm probably most interested in the What If, since that's animated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just seems like I really want them to bring back Daredevil and Punisher, and it sounds like there would probably be a good chance for that to happen with that.
Yeah, they could definitely do that.
I don't really have any stories off the top of my head that fell under that comic line.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only one that I could think of that's like similar is Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, but that wasn't under What If. That was just like Garth Ennis doing his own thing.
Did that come out before or after Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe? Do you know?
What year did that come out?
I don't know.
Okay, it might have been.
I think it was at least before 2014 because.
Okay, because that came out like around. Oh, the Punisher one came out around like 2000. I want to say because that was before he did. I think that must have been before because. Yeah.
The Deadpool one was kind of like raking in on the Deadpool popularity that kind of started in like 2010. So
yeah,
interesting. I guess there is some other Marvel news that I forgot to mention. They have confirmed that they are working on a Fantastic Four movie.
Nice.
So that'll be good. And also, Mahershala Ali has been cast as Blade. Though they haven't confirmed that there's a Blade movie coming out, he is confirmed to show up in at least one of them. So I think that's going to be really cool. Also, I really like Mahershala Ali as an actor. He always does a good job.
What else has he been in?
He was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. I don't know if you saw any of Luke Cage.
No.
He was the best part of Luke Cage. I think he was in a lot of Oscar bait movies, but he played as the Prowler in Spider-Verse. I mean, that's not like a perfect example of him, but
oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm curious if the Blade movie, if they make one, if it's going to be rated R like the older ones.
Yeah.
So here's my biggest concern, though, with these new Marvel movies. So for the past, 8 years, pretty much, they've all been building up around Infinity War and Endgame, all the Marvel movies. And I think that was a big part of their success, is that we would go and watch them to see what was going to happen, what was the next chapter. And now that they've finished that storyline up, I don't really know if they have a direction for these movies. And I'm afraid that can make them, feel a little more watered out or something.
Yeah.
Because if they're not building towards anything, well, what really is it? And I'm sure that, I'm sure they have something, but for me personally, I felt Spider-Man Far From Home was it felt very dull in the aspect of that it was just a movie that, kind of existed. It wasn't building towards anything. It didn't really grow or do anything with the universe. And if we just get a whole bunch of Marvel movies that are just kind of characters doing their own thing, not that I think that's a bad thing, but I think it is important to have large, overarching story arcs. And who knows, maybe there are some, but if not, I could see the Marvel movies kind of going down.
Yeah, because at that point, it would just be them trying to exploit the craze while it lasts. I mean, it's sort of it's kind of dying down. I want to say it's not as intense as.
Well, they're not making any more Marvel movies for a long time, and there's only 2 that comes out next year.
Ooh, so they're trying to decrease the supply to increase demand. I see.
Either that or because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 got canceled.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. It got canceled and then uncanceled. Did you not hear about that?
I knew it got canceled, but I didn't. Or did I? I know there was controversy surrounding the director.
Yeah, so Sean Gunn said some very offensive things on Twitter about how The Hobbit was better than Lord of the Rings. And because of that, it was just obvious that he wasn't the right man for the job. So they fired him. And then all of the cast refused to be in the next one. So they rehired him, but DC already hired him before then. So the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie isn't going to come out for quite a few more years. Not until after Suicide Squad 2. So,
and everybody wants that.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't even seen the first one, but I think I won't.
Yeah, you don't have to. I'll tell you what, though, with all this Marvel news, it's kind of weird that there hasn't been anything from DC.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, but there's no news on the Joker movie. There's small bits of information on the next Batman movie, but that's it. Are there even going to be any DC movies next year?
I don't think there was a movie announced, but there was something regarding Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, so that was a TV show.
All right. And then freaking Batwoman.
Yeah. So those are all TV shows, though.
Yeah,
the Harley Quinn. What's it called? This was announced at Comic-Con that for the DC streaming service, she's getting a Adult Swim style animated series.
Wait a minute, there's a DC streaming service.
Yeah, you didn't
know
about that?
No.
Yeah, they have all of DC's stuff on there. They also have.
Okay. It's old stuff, not just the new crap. That
no,
they're
it's
coming out with?
it's all era stuff. They have the Michael Keaton Batman movies, the animated series. They have the old Shazam show. They have a bunch of stuff on there. Apparently, it's not doing very well, which I can imagine because people don't want to really subscribe to more than 2 streaming services.
Yeah, it's bad enough that Disney's already coming out with one.
Yeah,
or that is coming out with one. And you got Netflix, which most people have, and then you got Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got this.
But yeah, so the Comic-Con Harley Quinn TV show looks like Lego Batman if they were allowed to swear. That's pretty much my summary of it. Looks fine. I'm not going to watch it because I don't have the DC streaming service.
And you probably don't want to pay for it either.
Yeah, I probably don't want to pay for it either. If I was going to get it, I think the main reason I would get it is for the comic books they have.
Oh, it has comics
Yeah,
too?
It's got comics as well.
Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like a
no,
bad
it doesn't sound
idea.
like a bad deal, but...
Okay. It's how much is it?
I don't remember.
Okay. So I know Marvel does something with their comics, but it's a separate thing. Well, I mean, of course it's a separate thing since that's Marvel Comics, not Marvel Studios. So like DC's like, oh, let's just try to do it better, but not really.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that's everything we have to say about Comic-Con and comics and stuff.
Yep. So we're going to be splitting this into 2 videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought I told you that, Robbie. What the hell?
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Just so it makes me feel like it's easier to edit. Because I have to go through the sound first and then make the video in quotations there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll split this into 2. In our next one, we will have all of the QuakeCon info that we want to talk about, as well as, I don't know, probably some other stuff too. Right.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.